Yes, sir, man. Officially day one of the break. YouTube, what is good? It's your boy N.O.T. and we are on top of a video today from Jimmy High Roller remaking my GOAT pyramid. Now, I never seen the first one, but yeah, man, let's rate his GOAT pyramid. Let's see what we think about this GOAT pyramid. It is officially break time, so you know the videos are gonna be coming and flowing. I might drop 2 today, and yeah, man, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop straight into it. It's a 13-minute video. It's got 600,000 views, man. Let's get it. Before we get into this video, man, I just want to say, you know, we're 900 subs away. Break, I'm looking to really turn it up this break. I'm turning up the switch. I'm turning up the video production, slowly but surely getting better and improving on my editing skills. But yeah, man, you know, it's gonna be a process. This break is really just to take my channel off, and you know, hopefully we get up there by March. But let's go ahead and hop straight into it, and let's rate this chart right here, this pyramid.
About 3 years ago, I released my GOAT pyramid, featuring 30 of what I believe to be the greatest NBA players of all time. And it's okay, but it could use some work. So today, we're going to be updating the NBA GOAT pyramid.
Alright, Jimmy High Roller. Alright, let's get it.
A few weeks ago, Shaq shared this basketball GOAT pyramid on Instagram. And I only know this because people were tagging
Why they got
me in
LeBron
the
at tier 3?
But it's not.
They got LeBron.
It was LeBron being on tier.
Shaq, why do you have LeBron James at tier 3? I mean, of course he's gonna put himself at tier 2. I mean, it's Shaq, but bro, I would honestly sub out Shaq. I don't know about this. Cause you see all these guys right here, man. You got Bill Russell, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Magic, Kareem. I don't know who I would replace for LeBron, but LeBron's got to be up there in tier 2. That's no question. I mean, he's one of the greatest, or at least put him in tier 1. Like, you know, cause there it's always LeBron and who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. But right now, man, it is currently looking like Michael Jordan. Although LeBron does have longevity, but yeah, man, he cannot be sitting at tier 3. I'm not gonna lie, man. This is disrespect right here. This is mad disrespect. As much as I don't like LeBron, this right here is disrespectful, man. But let's continue. Shoot.
Tier 3. Also, current day
That's crazy.
on tier 4 was a massive red flag, and a pretty solid player by the name of Hakeem Olajuwon was nowhere to be found on this pyramid at all. So, as cool as it would be to have Shaq share some content from the channel, this NBA GOAT pyramid is from someone else. But it did get me thinking. With all of the events that have taken place over the last 4 NBA seasons, I think it's time we update our GOAT pyramid. So here's the pyramid I made 3 years ago, May 23rd, 2019 to be exact. Which means since this video was released,
LeBron's
4
at tier 2.
teams have been crowned champions, 4 MVPs have been awarded, and there has been 3.5 seasons worth of NBA context to consider for our new pyramid. Now I want to keep this new pyramid at 30 players like our original one. So if I add any players, I unfortunately have to take players off as well. And just like with my original GOAT pyramid, there are a few factors I'm going to be considering throughout this process. A player's peak, which I value more than longevity, their accomplishments and hardware, their skill and ability, and even the era that they played in. And of course, just like with my original GOAT pyramid, these selections are all based on my personal opinion. So with that out of the way, let's make some changes to this pyramid.
Alright, let's change it up.
So first things first,
that Shaq one was outrageous.
One massive adjustment to the top of this pyramid. Some may agree with it, some may not. But after winning his 4th championship and 4th finals MVP while climbing every all-time leaderboard over the last 4 seasons, LeBron James has earned a spot in tier 1. Because at this point, the all-time discussion
yes, sir. That's exactly what I was saying.
Jordan, LeBron James, and then everyone else. I still have MJ as the GOAT, but the gap between MJ and LeBron feels smaller than the gap between LeBron and whoever comes next. So I feel this change was necessary and well-earned. But that leaves us with 3 players on tier 2.
I mean, whoever comes next will be Kobe.
When considering peaks and accolades and impact on the game and every other factor I can conjure up, I've decided to move Bill Russell and Larry Bird up to tier 2. In our original pyramid, I had Magic on tier 2 and Bird on tier 3.
Bill Russell makes sense. Larry Bird.
This gives room for Bird and Magic to be on the same
tier. How many rings does
as
Larry Bird have?
And Bill Russell, 11 rings, greatest defensive player of all time. There's not much to be said here. Now there's 2 players in particular who have solidified their legacies over the last 4 seasons and have earned spots on tier 3 with Shaq, Hakeem, Duncan, and Wilt. Those players are, of course, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant.
Oh, I would have thought Giannis.
2019, Steph has proven without a shadow of a doubt
I don't know.
that he's the greatest shooter of all
Put
time.
Giannis at
And
tier
after
4
winning
maybe?
his 4th championship and first Finals MVP last season, he's made the jump into tier 3. Steph's brilliance and consistency season after season has extended his prime past where I think most fans would have ever considered. Now in his 13th season, at 34 years old, he's not only one of the best players in the league, he's putting together
improving
arguably
every
the
single
best season
season
of his historic career. And the same could be said for Kevin Durant. He's got all the hardware, a league MVP, 2 championships, and 2 finals MVPs. But what
And a
has
load of
bumped Durant
injuries.
from tier 4 into tier 3 is his relentless consistency as a generational talent. Since 2019, he's made 2 more All-NBA teams while averaging 29, 7, and 6. And this has earned him the jump from tier 4 to tier 3. And that brings us to tier 4, which has some pretty major changes to it. And our first change comes with John Stockton, who gets demoted into tier 5, which puts him at about the 5th or 6th greatest point guard of all time, behind Magic, Steph, Oscar, and Isaiah. Scottie Pippen also got demoted to tier 5.
I agree.
I made this decision because despite Scottie's critical role throughout the Bulls dynasty, his talents as an individual player just don't warrant him a spot amongst players like Oscar Robertson, Karl Malone, and Julius Erving. And unfortunately, Dwayne Wade and Isaiah Thomas get demoted into tier 5 as well. All-time great players. But being in tier 4 means a player is,
Hold on. Wait, I'm gonna let him finish what he's about to say.
at worst, a top 21 player of all time. And I just don't consider Wade or Isaiah to be of that caliber. But I would consider them both to be top 30 players of all time, with similar relatively short but brilliant peaks and playoff heroics throughout their careers. And with these changes, Tier 4 becomes a barren wasteland with only 3 players. So we've got some promoting to do.
Bro, we gotta put
Starting with
Giannis
Jerry
up there.
West, 12
Add
All-NBA
Giannis.
teams,
Add
Finals
Giannis.
MVP, and
Please
5
add Giannis.
all-defensive team
Or
selections
somebody.
with career
Some new
averages
player.
of
Giannis,
27,
I don't know.
6, and 5 a game. The only other players in
Giannis
NBA
is doing some
history
historical
to achieve
things
these
and,
career
you know.
averages are LeBron James and Kevin Durant. So the logo gets the bump into Tier 4. My next promotion goes to Moses Malone. 3-time league MVP, a finals MVP, and one of the greatest rebounders the game has ever seen. Honestly, he should have never been in Tier 5 to begin with, so let's put him where he truly belongs. And my last pair of promotions goes to Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Garnett. The individual dominance of both KG and Dirk that spanned over 2 decades is matched by only a handful of all-time greats. But if not their sustained excellence over the course of 21 seasons, it was their massive peaks that earned them a spot in Tier 4. 2 of the most skilled, versatile, and imposing big men the game has ever seen. Which leaves us with Tier 5 and some tough decisions to make.
Tier 5,
there are only
he's gotta
2
add some
players
people.
that made my original GOAT pyramid that did not make the cut in my new pyramid. And those players are Bob Pettit and Allen Iverson. But with all these adjustments, there are now 2 spots
took
open
Allen Iverson
for
off?
2 new players. Of all the players who missed the cut the first time around, the players who I considered for my new pyramid were Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Yes.
Nikola Jokic, James Harden, Chris Paul, and Kawhi Leonard. Of all the active players in the NBA, aside from LeBron, Steph, and Durant, these are the only players who even have a shot at making the pyramid.
I'd
And
say
since
put
my
Giannis up
original
there right
pyramid
now,
3
and the
a half
Joker.
years ago, Nikola
They gotta go
Jokic
tier
has
4.
made 4 All-NBA teams, 3 of them being first-team
The Joker has
selections.
to at least
He's won
be tier 4.
back-to-back MVPs.
I mean, at most
He's
be
led
tier
the Nuggets
4.
to the conference
At least
finals,
5.
and he's put up 2 of the most historically efficient and productive seasons in league
it makes
history.
sense.
It's only a matter of time before Jokic joins the GOAT pyramid. But at the moment, it's just a bit too soon. Now for the case of James Harden, I had to sit and really think about his potential addition to the pyramid. Harden had one of the highest offensive peaks in league history, averaging 31, 8, and 6
I wouldn't
a game
even put
over
him on the
course
GOAT pyramid.
of 6 seasons. He's won an MVP.
He never won,
he's made
like, he
7
never
All-NBA
won a ring or
teams, And he's
anything.
just one of 7 players in NBA history to win a scoring title and an assist title. But where James Harden falls short compared to
Other
other
than
players
that
on the
MVP.
pyramid is his performance in the playoffs. He just hasn't broke through on the biggest stage, and the heliocentric offense that allowed him to put up such unbelievable stat lines became a weak point to his teams in the postseason. So for now, James Harden does not crack the GOAT pyramid. The next player I considered was Chris Paul, one of the most complete point guards in recent years. And despite his lack of playoff success, he has managed to completely transform every team he's been a part of. CP3 is a tricky one because, as I touched on before, if you compare Chris Paul to John Stockton, who is in Tier 5 on my pyramid, their careers are almost identical. And after CP3's first trip to the finals last season, their overall numbers and accomplishments only become more and more similar with time. Chris Paul had a higher peak, but Stockton's record-breaking ability to generate offense for nearly 2 decades, while being a lockdown perimeter defender, gives him a razor-thin edge over CP3 in my opinion. So for now,
hey, I gotta ask y'all a question. Do y'all think CP3 has a shot this year with the Suns to potentially make the finals?
Nope.
Again and win it? I don't know. I don't know what their record is, but you know, I know that they're starting to pick up some steam, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we might see them back in the finals, man. You never know. You never know.
Chris Paul.
Hey, shout out to my Clippers though. We doing some damage. I think we're 6th in the West right now. We just picked up a win. Who did we just play, bro? I just watched the game last night and I forgot who we played. Hold on, man. Let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, Clippers game. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. We played the Suns tonight. Who won the Clippers game last night? Oh yeah, we faced the Timberwolves and we won 99-88. So we're doing some damage. I think we're either 5 or 6 in the West right now. So you know, we're doing a little something. We just need our guys to stay consistent.
Doesn't quite crack tier 5, which leaves us with the 2 new additions to my GOAT pyramid: Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kawhi Leonard. Now, since my original pyramid, which was released just before the end of the 2019 season, Giannis has went from a great, young, ascending player to a certified all-time great. In just 3.5 years, Giannis won a championship, 2 MVPs, a Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, 4 All-NBA first teams.
That free throw's still taking a little bit long, but you know, he's catching along. He's catching along.
Averaging 30 points, 12 rebounds,
look at that. Look at his highlights
per game. That's a pretty solid 3.5-year stretch for the big man. So I had to add Giannis to the pyramid. And I'm going to put him comfortably in tier 4.
I was saying that.
Final addition,
let's go. That makes so much sense.
Added to tier 5. My original pyramid was created 3 weeks before Kawhi won his 2nd championship and 2nd Finals MVP, which led to his greatness stock skyrocketing. Now, Kawhi is a tough player to rank among any all-time scenario because when he's playing, he's one of the greatest players to ever lace up.
But he's always
out.
But
over the last few seasons, he just hasn't laced up a whole lot. But it's impossible to look past his 2 Finals MVPs and his run as the best two-way player in the NBA. So Kawhi gets added to the pyramid, but just barely, sneaking into tier 5. And there it is, my updated NBA GOAT pyramid. And I want to point out a few interesting things that I noticed throughout the process of making this. If we break down the pyramid by position, there are 6 point guards, 3 shooting guards, 8 small forwards, 6 power forwards, and 7 centers featured on the pyramid. I initially thought centers would have the largest presence here, with big men running the league for nearly 6 decades, but turns out a well-rounded, versatile wing has been the ideal archetype for a potential NBA great. If we break the GOAT pyramid down by the decade that each player was drafted in, then we'll find that among all players who made it onto the pyramid, 4 of them were drafted in the 50s, 3 were drafted in the 60s, 2 were drafted in the 70s, a whopping 10 players were drafted in the 80s, 5 in the 90s, 4 in the 2000s, and 2 in the 2010s. And since most players peak in the decade after they were drafted, it could be said that the 90s were the best era for NBA basketball, or at least the era that featured the most all-time great talent. Giannis is the youngest player featured on this pyramid at just 28 years old, completely bypassing tier 5 altogether.
He's crazy.
And
he's 28 in like year
after just
10.
9 seasons in the NBA.
9.
This puts Giannis somewhere between the 15th and 20th best player all time. Giannis's ascent amongst the greatest players of all time was pretty quick, but we've seen a rapid climb to basketball royalty like this.
I think Giannis will have really good longevity. He might play up to like, he might peak up to like 35 or something.
And despite some backlash on the selection, a 24-year-old Shaquille O'Neal was selected as a top 50 player all time after just 4 seasons in the NBA. The second youngest player that was selected for that exclusive Greatest 50 club was Scottie Pippen, who was 31. Back in 2009, sports writer and analyst Bill Simmons released his original basketball pyramid that featured 96 players. At the time, LeBron James was just 24 years old in his 6th NBA season. He hadn't won a league MVP yet, he had only made 1 trip to the finals at that point, and he just hit his peak. But a young LeBron not only made Bill's GOAT basketball pyramid, he was already so transcendently good that Simmons selected him as the 20th greatest player in NBA history. And after the last half-decade Giannis has put together, he has slingshotted himself onto the same trajectory. Now I have to mention the handful of players that just narrowly missed the cut. Those players were Steve Nash, Patrick Ewing, Allen Iverson, Jason Kidd, Bob Pettit, Bob Cousy, James Harden, Chris Paul.
I'm actually mad he took AI off. Should have left AI on there.
But when the spots are limited to just 30, the criteria to make the GOAT pyramid
and the
is
Joker. You took the Joker off
if we
too.
redo this pyramid again in 5 years, we'll
AI
see
and the
Jokic
Joker,
on here,
biggest,
might see Luka Doncic on here, or possibly James Harden and Chris Paul. But for now, this is my new, and I think improved, NBA GOAT pyramid. Let me know what you think. Which players are too low? Which players are too high? Who was left out that you think should have made the cut? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, until next time.
Okay, so let's look at this pyramid right here. So tier 5, we got Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas, Scottie Pippen. Okay, I agree with most of this right here. Who is this guy? I'm not trying to be funny, but who's this guy right here? I know Elgin Baylor. I don't know who this guy is, but pretty much with this whole across the board, I could agree. Most certainly. I don't think he should have took AI off there. He shouldn't have took AI, especially if we're looking like outside of basketball, the impact that he made on the league, rules wise and stuff, and you know how iconic he was. You know what I'm saying? That could also contribute to, you know, GOAT status. Iconic. You know, he made the finals on the 76ers, who he carried to the finals to face Shaq and Kobe. You know, he's the god of crossovers, you know what I'm saying? But let's look at tier 4 now. Tier 4, we got Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, we got Mailman. Oh my gosh, how did I forget his name? Oh, Malone, bro. Malone. Karl Malone. I was thinking of Mike Malone for some reason. But yeah, man, this right here looks pretty nice. I agree with this for the most part. I think what we should have did was we should have put Oscar Robertson up there at tier 3 and then move Akeem Olajuwon to tier 4. Steph Curry, KD, agree. Will Chamberlain, agree. Tim Duncan, agree. You know, cornerstone of the, you know, Spurs for like 20 years. Totally agree with that. Tier 2, I agree. Now tier 2 or tier 1, there's no question. I agree with those completely. But hey man, let me know what you guys think about this pyramid right here. Do you guys agree? And you know, who would you sub out? Who would you add in? Who would you take out? I might make my own little GOAT list in the comment section. I might have to see. But yeah, man, this is NOT signing off, man, ready to deliver for this Christmas break. It's currently the 15th right now, so we have 10 days until Christmas, man. So we're counting down 1 day off, 9 more days to go. It's grind season, man. It's grind season. We're also going to take this into the New Year's. We're looking to grind. Looking to, by the end of the break, by the end of these 10 days, man, I'm looking to at least reach 200, 250 around that area. But yeah, man, gotta go ahead and edit this video. This is NOT signing off, man. Love you guys. Peace. Continue to show love, support. Hey, man, let's reach 1,000 by March, man. Let's make it happen. I'm gonna continue to speak it into existence because I know we got what it takes to reach that standard right there. But yeah, man, peace.